Michael was driving his Model S on Route 20 in Weston, Massachusetts when he saw flashing blue police lights approaching from the other direction. Michael doesn't know what the Nissan driver did, but he figures it must have been something spectacular because he was pulled over by the whole police department. Multiple police cars blocked off the entire road and officers arrested the suspect at gunpoint. Michael pulled out his phone to capture the action and it also recorded audio, so let's listen in to what happened. Apparently, the arresting officer had trouble telling left from right, which made the situation quite confusing for the suspect. Luckily, they were able to take him in peacefully. Michael searched the local news for any information about the arrest, but he couldn't find any. A different Michael was driving his Model Y near Gainesville, Texas, when a semi-truck changed lanes to go around a truck pulling a boat that was turning into a gas station. That's when an SUV decided to pull out from the gas station right in front of the truck. Michael estimates they were driving at approximately 60 miles per hour, so it was a fast reaction from the semi-driver who just missed T-boning the small SUV. Michael pulled over to make sure the truck driver was okay, and the police were called by a bystander at the gas station. The small black SUV left the scene. When Michael offered the video to the state trooper, he smiled and said, "You must be the one driving that Tesla." The driver of the semi was grateful that Michael had stopped and had video footage in case he needed it. Jason had just gotten his first Tesla, which was also the first Model S Plaid to be delivered in Colorado. This was also the first accident Jason has ever been in. The gentleman across from him turned right on a red light as Jason was making a left-hand turn on a green light. The other driver crossed from the right lane into Jason's lane and hit him. The Tesla sustained damage all along the right side of the car from the impact. Even the rims and tires got damaged. Jason loves his car, but even so, he felt bad for the other gentleman who was a bit older, in his 80s. He was so sorry about the accident and the damage he'd caused. Sentry mode captured the moment when Jason gave him a hug to let him know everything was going to be okay. Nice move, Jason. Everyone makes mistakes. It takes being a bigger person to be able to forgive them. Brian was driving his Model 3 to work at 5 a.m. with his fiancée in Concord, California. The rain was pouring down, and he was going about 60 miles per hour when a Honda passed him. The Honda hit some standing water in the far left lane and hydroplaned into the wall and across the freeway into the right shoulder. Due to the high speeds and the dangerous conditions, Brian didn't want to stop in case another accident happened that might jeopardize his and his fiancée's safety. In fact, there was already another car stopped on the shoulder that might have also spun out in that exact same place. Ken was driving in San Leandro, California when a chicken came charging at him. Well, that's something you don't see every day. Luckily, the chicken managed to cross the road safely. Any idea why the chicken was crossing the road? Leave a comment. Vincent was heading to an auto parts store in Spokane, Washington to buy washer fluid for his Tesla. On the way, he was passing a gas station and decided to take a trip down memory lane and buy his washer fluid there instead. After turning onto a side street to turn around, he was just heading back onto the street when he looked to his left and saw a man on a bike coming toward him. The guy ditched his bike before running full speed toward Vincent, screaming. Vincent accelerated to get out of there, but there was traffic on the street, so the guy ended up running behind his car and then on his right side, still yelling at him. Vincent drove a block away and called 911. He has no idea what aggravated the guy. Chen Shuang was driving northbound on I-880 near Milpitas, California, when a car in the leftmost lane spun all the way across the highway, finally coming to a stop in the right lane. Chen Shuang thinks his tire had blown out, and we can see in the video that the rear wheel appears to be a bare rim. Darren took his wife to a theater to see the new Matrix movie. They had a great time, but the day after, Darren noticed something about his Tesla was a little different. His Model 3 had dents all over the passenger side, and the paint was chipped above the rear wheel. When he watched the Sentry Mode video to find out what had happened, he was puzzled. Check out what he found. Some person had been banging his elbows into the Tesla before he started kicking it. Then he opened his door into the Tesla and started to smash it, very slowly at first. The driver of the other car walked by and momentarily stopped the guy, even pointing out that the Tesla screen indicated it was recording. The guy then continued to hit the Tesla with his door. Darren contacted the police and made a report. An officer called him and asked for a copy of the footage. He looked up the other vehicle's registration and is going to be contacting the registered owner. Darren filed an insurance claim and he'll need to have the entire body panel repainted. Darren says the person definitely wasn't in the Christmas spirit and obviously doesn't like Teslas. Sammy was heading straight on Hobson Pike in Tennessee when another motorist drove right out in front of him. Sammy slammed on his brakes, but he couldn't stop in time and they collided. The other guy fled the scene, but using his Tesla's torque, Sammy was able to catch up to him and stop him. The other driver had a suspended driver's license as well as a baby in the car. When Sammy confronted him, he started making up stories saying that Sammy had the wrong person and that he didn't know what he was talking about. When Sammy told him he had it all on video, the guy said that it was Sammy who'd hit him and that the camera had been looking at something else. That's when Sammy decided to call the police. When the police arrived, they immediately found the other guy at fault. Case closed. Detective Tesla saves the day again. Tim was driving down the HOV lane on the freeway in Mesa, Arizona. It had been raining all morning on Christmas Eve, but the weather cleared up for about 20 minutes. A blue car had been tailgating Tim even though he was already doing 75 miles per hour. He wasn't going to go any faster, so the driver of the blue car eventually passed him. As Tim came around the bend, he noticed an officer on the side of the road with another vehicle that had wiped out. Tim slowed down for the emergency vehicle, and that's when he noticed Mr. Blue Car spinning out and crashing. Tim said, "Merry Christmas, you get a banged up car." This submitter caught an H-Mark truck speeding around a curve near Lakeline before flipping over onto its side. Thad and his wife were at the grocery store when they heard that same truck crashing. They took this footage when the H-Mart personnel salvaged the cargo from the fallen truck. The truck driver was okay. It's really cool when we get this multi-angle action from different submitters sending us the same incidents. FIREBUG had parked his Model Y in Gambrills, Maryland when some teenagers backed into his Tesla, Honda bumped him, and then drove away. When they saw FIREBUG walking back to his car, they did go back to talk to him. They inspected both cars and agreed that there was no damage to either vehicle. Liam was waiting for an opening to overtake this Mercedes AMG in his Model 3 Performance. The Mercedes had been holding up traffic earlier and generally driving under the speed limit. When Liam started to overtake him, the Mercedes driver punched the accelerator and tried to stop him from passing. Liam ended up having to stomp on his brakes, engaging the ABS once he passed him in order to make the turn. The Mercedes driver slightly hit the curb. Liam then accelerated away and left the Mercedes in the dust. Jerry was driving in Omaha, Nebraska when he stopped for traffic. Another driver rammed the Jeep behind him at full speed, sending the Jeep crashing into Jerry. Jerry drove straight to the only Tesla-approved body shop in Omaha, and they gave him a 6 to 8 week repair time and no Tesla loaners in the meantime. Now Jerry is stuck with a gas car for 8 weeks just because some people can't watch the road. Tom was going 5 miles per hour over the limit, but he was still being tailgated by this Ford. Tom finally found a wide shoulder and pulled over to let him pass. The Ford sped around him, crossing the double yellow lines. A sheriff's deputy coming the other way saw him speeding after he passed Tom. The officer whipped a U-turn and immediately pulled the Ford over. Gotta love that instant karma. Val was driving his Model S in Yonkers, New York. This stretch of highway is well known for state police speed traps, at least to Val. Val drives with the Waze app, which warns users if any speed traps are up ahead. He doesn't think this driver had the app, and he had a feeling this was going to happen. Joseph was driving his Model 3 on Highway 79 in Israel when a semi-truck crashed into a Skoda. The truck driver started yelling at the Skoda driver for stopping suddenly, saying he had a lot of space in front of him. When Joseph heard that, he thought, well, that's not true. He stopped and gave the Skoda driver his contact info and sent him a copy of his Teslacam footage. The driver was thankful and appreciated his help. The truck driver didn't say much when he heard that Joseph had video evidence. Mateo and his girlfriend were heading back to Montreal from Quebec City when they saw a car swerving around in front of them. Mateo yelled, "Watch out," to his girlfriend, who was driving at the time. Both cars seemed fine with no major damage, so Mateo and his girlfriend didn't stop. On second thought, however, they realized their Teslacam footage might have helped them figure out who was at fault. Hopefully, this video will be discovered by the parties involved. Sam had left his Tesla parked outside of a store in Port Orange, Florida, and was greeted with a funny Sentry mode recording when he got back to his car. Let me just put on the right music really quick so we can all get in the weekend mood here. There we go. This guy was really feeling it as he started dancing alongside the Tesla. Sam thinks he might have been recording a TikTok video or something because his friend was inside the truck recording him. He soon realized his friend wasn't the only one recording though. He noticed the warning on the Tesla's center screen that Sentry mode was also recording. That didn't stop him though, and soon his dancing transformed into some kind of mating ritual when he tested the suspension on his truck. This reminds me of a fun fact. What's the capital of Thailand? Bangkok, of course. Kids these days sure know how to have fun. Speaking of having fun, as you know, Tesla released the custom light show feature a couple of weeks ago. It's been a blast to see all the light shows, but we all know there's one light show to rule them all.
Wham, bam, Teslacam. I hope you're satisfied.
Let's go! Wham Bam drives down the street with the windows way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his car. Teslacam ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of nowhere a Honda comes to the sound of a bump. Yeah, you've been Honda bumped.
Well, we can't take all the credit for this one. The YouTube channel Tesla Light Shows reached out and said they could help us make an epic show. So we went to the mix table, put together some of the best Wham Bam tunes, and they made this epic show to it.
Wham bam, Teslacam. Come on! Wham bam, Teslacam. Are you satisfied? Wham bam lost his mind, went all in on Teslacam. Wham bam, Teslacam. He hopes you are satisfied.
We put a link below where you can download it and run it yourself if you want to be the coolest cat in the parking lot, that is. We actually put out a challenge to the Tesla owners group in Quebec, and they sent us this video. They gathered 23 Teslas to make the largest synced-up Tesla light show. Of course, it was just the standard show, so we asked if they could do it with the Wham Bam song. They said they would, and they'll do it with even more cars. I'd say the challenge has been accepted. You'll find the download link in the description.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a cyber truck? My friends all drive diesel, I must make amends.
Don't forget to check out Tesla Light Shows on YouTube. After this show, they deserve it.